Hi guys, I'm Tracy. Thank you for joining me today. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys the brushes that I choose when I really want to perfect the complexion, to really get my makeup to look its best, like as if I were going to a red carpet event, which I don't do, but if I were to, or going to a special place, because a lot of times I'm not doing that, but I did my makeup this morning with that in mind, and I thought it would be interesting to you guys to know what I'm using. And I'll share some of the products, but mainly focus on the brushes. So I think some of these will be no surprise, and I think some of these might be, actually I know some of them will be surprising because I don't talk about them a whole lot. I'm going to start out with my foundation, and I really like the Rephr 31. It's fairly new. They sent me this in PR, so thank you, Rephr. So I didn't choose to get this, I don't think, but I'm just so impressed with how well it covers everything when you use foundation. So depending on what kind of brush you use to apply your foundation, it's going to give you a slightly different effect. Some of them are, they tend to shear out your foundation a little bit, and some of them are, tend to kind of give you a heavier application. And this one fits into the heavier application, which for me is good because I do like to cover up a lot of my sunspots. And I use this, I have B-roll, I use this in a patting motion, and this is what I would use to really cover as much as I can up. And I use the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue, and I mix that with 1 pump of the NARS Longwear Radiant Foundation. So those are both full coverage foundations. So that combined with this, hopefully the video will show you, really just cancels everything out. So that one is the best for foundation for this. And the next is, this will be no surprise, the Sonia G Soft Concealer for concealing under the eyes and like around the mouth, anywhere where, actually I used it down the center of my face. It's a very dense brush, so it really concentrates the product where you want it to go, and it leaves a very smooth, flawless finish, and I just love it. I have two, and I think a lot of you guys understand how wonderful this brush is, so I'm not going to go on too much, but that's the Sonia G Soft Concealer. The next one for powdering under the eyes, I picked up the Goss Airbrush. The Goss 2 would be fine, and so would the Sonia G Designer Pro. Any one of those three would be really good. Even the Z4. Anything that really lightly applies powder, I think is, really what I pick to make things look just, the nicest. And, that's pretty much self-explanatory. This does not make your foundation, your powder look heavy or cakey or accentuate lines or pores or anything. It really just very lightly powders your face. And this is the cream bronzer brush that I pick up first. That's the Sonia G Classic Base. I've mentioned this many times. It's just an amazing brush. I also like the mini base, but for some reason I wanted to use this. I use it with the Danessa Myricks Power Bronzer in medium, and this brush works beautifully with that product and other products as well. Now the cream blush brush that I've been picking up over the other brushes is the Rephr number 4. Now, I know I'm not a big angled brush person, but there's something about this size and this shape that just so beautifully applies cream blush. And also the blush that I have been using, like my current favorite, is the Natasha Denona Rose Cheek Duo. I really like this blush and the highlighter. So this formula is pretty dry, and it takes a certain brush to really pick it up. So I find this to be really, really good. It's hard to mess up because it really lightly puts the blush on there. So I would say the Rephr 4, love this for cream blush. I don't know if I've used it. I think I have used it for powder blush, and it works. It has a kind of a strong application, so I tend not to use it for powders. But for cream blush, this is just such a great brush. I really do like the Rephr 4. Now for highlighter, I've been really liking the Chikuhodo Z4 just because I like a very light highlighter look, and I like to cover a fairly larger area, and this is foolproof. Your highlighter will not look too strong if you use this brush. You could build it up to have a very strong look, but it's just such an easy brush to highlight with, and it's such a joy to use any Z series brush really. And the powder bronzer brush I chose is the Chikuhodo Z8. This is just an amazing brush. I've mentioned it so many times, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. It beautifully applies blush, bronzer. You can even use it for highlighter or powdering. And the only downside is it takes a little time to build up pigment, but that's why you would use this brush. If you don't want your brush to really pack on a lot of pigment right away, you want to lightly build it up, this is a really good one. So this is the one, if I have time and I really want my powder, bronzer, and blush to look good, this is the brush that I pick up. And I think this one will be kind of surprising. This is my current favorite, and I know I have a lot of brushes for this for finishing powder now. I didn't before, but my current favorite is the Bisyodo BP2. I'm going to list everything below with the products as well, but I'm pretty sure this is the BP2. This is my most recent Bisyodo long series brush, and the reason I like this for finishing, it does not disturb your makeup. So I really like the way kind of everything turned out, my blush and my bronzer. So I didn't want to really disturb that. I didn't need to tone it down or kind of blend it together. And I feel like this brush for finishing powder really is just so light, so gentle. You can even kind of like buff, and it does not disturb anything. And I know some of you are thinking, what about my Sonia G Master Face and buffer brushes? I do like those, but I tend to use those when I have a little bit of a strong look that I want to tone down. I do feel like with those brushes, it does tend to kind of lighten your makeup, especially like bronzer and blush. It kind of tones it down. So if I am not trying to do that, I have been picking this one up. I recently got the Chikuhodo Z1, but I've only used it a couple times, so I'm not going to recommend that one. But I've really been liking this for all over finishing powder. I use the Hourglass ambient finishing powders I did the middle with diffuse light here, and then I use dim light on the perimeter of my face with this brush. So beautiful brush, very useful, and a joy to use as well. So those are the brushes that I wanted to mention today. They're all linked below, and most of them, with the exception of the Sonia G brushes, those are going to be affiliate links, and I appreciate you guys using it so much. It allows me to buy more brushes and to continue the channel and share my purchases with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.